What's going on, my faithful members of the D Clan? I'm back with another one with One Piece, chapter 1157. Let's get into it. We start off with the cover page. We start off with Yamato paying respects at this gravesite or this monument, saying this guy fought Kaido to protect his village, but he perished without leaving a body. And of course, they're talking about Gecko Moria. So we flip the page and the chapter begins. The Rocks pirates are in the New World at a place called Mbizo, and they claiming to be a charity case, right? So everybody, you got Big Mom and all the other pirates and the gangster and all that there, and that fisherman pirate, they all running, with the loot. And so you have this guy trying to stop them, one of the victims or so-called victims, saying, "Hey, stop! That money was actually for donated to children." And Big Mama's like, "You liar. If the money was donated to children, why are you sitting down in your vault collecting dust?" So then you have this one pirate. He calls out. He can hear a whole bunch of chattering. Say, "Hey, lower the lift." You know what I'm saying? "Hey, we're stuck down here. Lower the lift." So he calls out the Shiki. And, he calls out the Shiki. And he said, "Hey, Shiki, remember, lower the lift." And Shiki is like, "Oh, yeah, I forgot about that." Shiki gonna light up some candles and toss some candles down there with Kaido, Newgate, and Kyo Silver X down there and try to blow them boys up. Boy, look here. Shiki know he wrong for that one now, eh? So now, then he gonna do it for greed on top of some. Well, more loot for us. Boy, Shiki, boy, you a dirty guy. You a dirty, dirty guy. Betray your own comrades. But they did too say that the Rocks pirates ain't been worth spit. You know what I'm saying? All of them was treacherous, man. Only had the, themselves to look out for. So, here he come now. Not the bad guy, but the so-called victim. They was like, dang, they know about the grift, the scam that we are running, So, they're running around, and then they try to close the temple gates on them. And when they try to close the temple gates on them, I thought Big Mom was going to have a little moment to shine at her prime, because she said, hey, she was getting ready, to take care of the gates. But here, lo and behold, Newgate, Whitebeard, gets peed off, and he busts the gates down and sends everybody flying. And when he busts the gates down and sends everybody flying, Kaido was like, man, I got to get me one of them. And Newgate, Whitebeard was like, we talking about the devil fruit power? Kaido was like, yeah. And Whitebeard was like, man, you got to choose wisely, man. Choose wisely which one you get, because once you get it, you're stuck with it for life, So, you see Silver's axe down there, and Silver Axe confronts Shiki. He said, hey, Shiki, you did that on purpose, didn't you? And Shiki going to be so sarcastic. Oh, Kyo, good to see you alive. I was so worried about you. And next, they started fighting. Kyo was like, you dirty dog, you. And they started fighting. Ding, ding, ding. You can see the clinks, stuff like that going on in the background. Flashes from the swords and stuff. So, here we go. We see Rocks. Rocks shows up. And Rocks basically telling boys that, hey, you guys got that loot yet? What's up? That boy's taking too long. We're in the timetable here. Let's go. And we see the Navy shows up. And so I see something real interesting, right? Because Whitebeard says, man, the Navy got here pretty fast. You know what I'm saying? Do we have a mode among us? Is there a snitch among us? Ain't no way the Navy should have got here that fast, So we see Rocks. Rocks said, you know what? We gonna sink them all. And we gonna take their loot. So we see now then that the Rocks pirates has been causing a muckus. They've been going around sinking ships, taking over certain islands, but giving it back after they got done with their business and stuff like that. And just causing great international incidents, Well, it then scenes over to Harold, King Harold of Elbaf. And he is negotiating or trying or attempted to negotiate the freedom of another kingdom of the New World who was there for him and his people, the giants. And it seems that the people that helped him are not affiliated with the world government, right? Because the world government officers have them all tied up and are executing them. And King Harold's like, hey, these people helped us out. They fed us when Elbaf was at his darkest hour and we were hungry and we were in need. We owe these people a great debt. And the Marine is telling King Harold, he was like, hey, look, they're not a part of the world government. To us, they're not even recognized as a people. And so they're not even recognized as a people. And therefore, we don't see them as people because they're not a part of the world government. And then he takes out a pistol and shoots a woman. And then he's going to tell King Harold, he's like, hey, look, you can get on through about your business. If you want to become part of the world government, then you get on about your business and I'll throw a word in for you. Matter of fact, if you help us out with this right here, it'll increase your chances of becoming one with the world government. And again, he puts a bullet in a woman. King Harold was like, you know what? Screw that. He jumps off of his ship and he sinks the Navy ship. And of course, saved the people of the other kingdom. And boy, they were happy. They was looking so happy. So the scene then switched over back to Elbaf. And King Harold, Rox, and Ida are talking at Ida's bar. And King Harold is telling, Rox everything. And so Rox was listening. Rox started laughing. Rox said, yeah, now see, now why you want to become part of the world government after they treat people like that? Huh? They don't care about your contributions and what you can pose to the people and what good that you can do to the people. And so King Harold's like, man, we already have some giants that left Elbaf and joined the world government as soldiers, and they're pretty powerful warriors, and they're strong. I don't know why the world government doesn't want Elbaf to become part of the world government. Think of all the good we can do for the people of the world. And so Rox was like, man, they just gonna use y'all and cast y'all aside like yesterday's trash. I'm trying to recruit you to join me so we can overthrow the world government and get rid of this corrupted system. And so King Harold was like, nah, man, I don't want me or my country to join you. And Rox said, dog, I'm trying to recruit you and your country to join the winning team. I'm trying to recruit all of you guys, the warriors of Elbaf, so we can get this thing done and be rid of the world government. The world government is no good. And so he said, but you're going to keep on trying, and it hurts me as your friend, Harold. Rox is letting him know, because Rox is a genuine friend. He kicked Kaido in the face for talking stuff about Harold. Say, hey, we can just force Harold. So I believe Rox is being genuine. He says, man, look, it pains me to see you bowing down and screaming up to the world government. And then he goes, Ida, try to talk some sense to him. And Ida was like, well, if King Harold was my son, I'd tell him choose your friends wisely. And so Rox was like, hey, don't talk about me. I believe Rox is being a genuine guy. Of course, he has his own self-interest at heart, first and foremost. First and foremost, Rox is in it for himself. But I believe he also does care about, I believe he does care about King Harold as a person. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, he foot Kaido in the mouth for saying, hey, we can force King Harold to do our bidding. You know what I'm saying? And he threatened. Matter of fact, no, he made a promise to Kaido. You talk crap like that again about King Harold, and I'll end you myself. We have Garp, Sengoku, and Suru, along with Admiral Kong, and they're talking about what's going on in the world. And they're talking about Elbaf and King Harold, and they're talking about how they say that there's rumors going around that Rox have been trying to recruit Elbaf, the Giants, and King Harold. And Garp was saying, hey, King Harold is doing the best that he can. He really wants to join the world government. But the higher ups ain't making it easy for him because of Elbaf's history. And so King Kong was like, yeah, I really hope he can get it done. The powers that be are saying that, the warriors of Elbaf, the giants of Elbaf, would be a great asset to the world government. So Garp get ticked off. He said, hey, I want them on our side. You need to make it happen. And Admiral Khan was like, hey, I'm just the front man here. It's not up to me. The scene then switches over. And we're back to Rock's Island, to Rock's Pirate Island. And we have the beautiful Gloriosa and Big Mom talking. And, everybody got the news that Shaki has quit the Kuja pirate. She quit being empress and she's no longer a pirate. And so Gloriosa's like, I wonder if she really does have that sickness, that love sickness, that she just in love and wants to be with somebody. And Big Mom said, start talking her stuff. What is about y'all about finding love and this, that, and the third. And Gloriosa just puts Big Mom on blast. She's like, I know you ain't talking stuff. You wouldn't know nothing about love, Big Mom. You pop out kids like popcorn. I said, oh, burn. Well, soon as they say that, nobody but Shaki pops up. After hearing all the guys crying, all the minions, the lower level pirates, they start crying, say, man, the main reason why I became a pirate was so I could get boarded by Shaki. And now she's retiring, she's nowhere to be found. And here it goes, now Shaki pops up. So when she knows, she was like, hey, I'm going to build a bar here. And the boys like, we'll build it for you. They said, man, it stinks in here. They said, we'll clean it up. And we'll even plant flowers. So Rocks, Newgate, and the other guys, the other pirates, they pull up and, Rocks are like, yo, what's the ruckus that going on around here? You know what I'm saying? What's the big idea? Why y'all being so loud? And they said, man, it was our idea. Please don't be mad at Shaki. She came and she's about to open up a bar here, Next thing you know, Newgate, Rocks, the gangster, the fisherman pirates, everybody heart stop pumping because everybody has a crush on Shaki. She's her. She's that diva. You know what I'm saying? And so Rocks went ahead and gave her the okay. She can go ahead and make her bar. And then the scene switches for the last time. And Rocks is giving her a compliment, saying, man, it smells nice in here. And then we see the world government saying, okay, listen, we're going to give King Harold an ultimatum. If he really wants to join the world government, kill Rocks. That ain't happening. Well, that's the end of the chapter. I'm looking forward to the next one. And guys, it's gonna be something interesting to see. It'll be a surprise to me if King Harold accepts the world government's offer. I don't think he will, but who knows? Well, guys, go ahead, comment down below. Tell me if you guys have liked this chapter. Tell me if you guys like this review. And guys, if you don't comment, then at least give me a like. It'll be a great help to the channel. It'll help me in the YouTube algorithm here. And it'll help me get my voice and my videos and my thoughts and my concerns and stuff like that about various topics out there. Well, that's it for me. Till next time, my friends. 5,000 subscribers. Hooray!